Hey everyone, in this video we'll show you how to use Power My Analytics to automate cost imports from Microsoft ads, Facebook ads, and other advertising platforms into GA4. If you've recently migrated your Google Analytics account from Universal Analytics to Google Analytics 4, you might be wondering how to import your cost data into GA4. Power My Analytics makes it easy to import your historical cost data to GA4 over secure FTP and set up a schedule for your cost imports to stay updated with your new data every day. We know the transition to GA4 is a top priority for our customers, especially those cost imports into Universal Analytics. Power My Analytics is ready to help you switch with an easy to follow setup process. And today we'll show you how to set up the secure FTP access to your cost data and run an initial backfill on your historical data into GA4, then configure a scheduled daily refresh in order to keep your imported cost data up to date. At this time, only one cost data source can be imported into your GA4 property. For example, you can import your cost data either from Facebook ads only or from Microsoft ads only, but not from both at once. We are currently working on a solution to support multiple cost data imports into GA4 from more than one source. So before we dive in, you'll need the GA4 property you wish to use as your destination for your cost data, an FTP server with secure FTP, also known as SFTP. Google Analytics 4 will only use SFTP and will not use unsecured FTP. If you have any questions about setting up your secure FTP, please contact your server administrator for assistance. Once you have your FTP server, you'll need your FTP server hostname, username, and password. And now it's time to create your new report in the Power My Analytics Hub. Let's dive into it. So first we're going to start out in the Power My Analytics Hub right here. We're going to go under Reports and then we're going to click Data Explorer. And from here we're going to click Add Report. And under report name, I recommend it's something like Do Not Use and whatever the data source you're using, since this will be the initial report that's only a template. And this will not be the cost data report you'll be exporting to GA4 yet. In this example, we're going to use Microsoft Advertising. So I'm going to type in Microsoft and click on Microsoft Advertising. Under date range, select the time span of the historical data you like to backfill. And Google Analytics 4 will only allow the historical backfill up to 90 days of data. And this is a limitation of GA4 cost imports. So I'm going to select last X days and I'm going to select 90 and I'm going to click set. And then from here, I'm going to press set range. And under fields, I'm going to click select fields. And it's important to note when you're setting up your report for cost imports, you don't need to know the actual fields for your connector. PMA will set those up for you automatically in the next step. So you can enter any field. So in this case, I'm going to enter a date and then I'm going to press set fields. You don't have to add any filters. So I'm going to click just set filter. Under options, I'm going to click order by date and you can select ascending or descending. And I'm going to keep it on ascending and set the limit to 1 million to make sure your report captures all of your historical data possible. And then after that, go up to the very top and click save. Your new template report will appear under reports in the Data Explorer. Now it's time to create your cost data from the template report. Next to the report, click the green Create Template Report button to the right. The template report menu will appear next to your report, and you can select cost imports from the dropdown. Then click Report Group to select the group that you'd like your report to be placed in. In this case, I'm going to use GA4 test, and then I'm going to click the red Confirm button. Your cost data is created, and all your metrics and dimensions for GA4 will be populated and configured automatically according to the connector you've chosen. You can confirm that the fields have been added correctly by going to the report group you chose and clicking on the pencil icon to edit the cost imports for your connector. Your cost import fields for the connector will be visible under fields right here. And make sure to name this report as you will need it when setting up the FTP exports in the next step. This report will automatically be given a name similar in the style to Microsoft_ads_cost_imports. And now it's time to schedule a new FTP export to your PMA hub. Next, set up an export of your historical data backfill from PMA to your FTP server. So now we're going to go into the hub and then we're going to go under exports. We're going to click on FTP and then we're going to click the create export button. And under destination, we're going to click the blue add destination button. And under FTP type, we're going to click SFTP. Under server name, enter a name like cost import server. And this will help you label your server. This can be any name that you choose for your own reference. And it's not the same thing as server host name. Under host, enter your server host name, then enter your FTP username and password. Power My Analytics will always keep your credentials encrypted and securely stored. Then click connect, and under destination, click the FTP server you just created. And under file format, click CSV. In the directory path, enter the path for the directory of the server you'd like to use for your CSV exports. And this path might be something like /home/demo/reports. I'm going to use this path for this example today, and then I'm going to click next. Under report or report group, click single report. And then for report, select the name of the cost report that you created using the report template. So it should be something that looks similar to this. then click Next. Finally, under Schedule, set the refresh period to monthly because you only want to backfill your historical data once. Under Refresh On, you can select the first day of the month. For the hour, select 5 o'clock, then click Add, and then click Confirm. And now your FTP export will be configured. Then find your new export under the list of exports, and then click the play arrow to run the export now. Your export will start running and uploading the historical data to your FTP server. And you'll be able to click View Logs to see the status of your FTP export. And it's important to note to make sure your export finishes before you begin setting up your cost import into GA4. Now it's time to configure your cost imports from your FTP exports in GA4. Make sure you've set up the GA4 property you want to use as your data destination. After you set up your data source and imported your historical data, your cost import in GA4 will continue to update with new data from your FTP server. So we're going to go to analytics.google.com to get started, and then we're going to click on the gear icon in the lower left-hand corner, and then we're going to navigate to the property that you want to use. And under Property, click on Data Import. Then we're going to click on the Create Data Source button. Under data source name, we're going to enter something similar to Microsoft Advertising Cost Import 1. Under data type, make sure cost data is selected. Scroll down to upload data for import, and then we're going to select SFTP. And under server username, you're going to enter in the username of your FTP server. And it's very important to make sure you know the path and file name for your export on your FTP server. If your FTP protocol URL is not formatted correctly, the GA4 import will fail. Under SFTP server URL, enter the URL for the CSV file containing your cost data. This URL will need to be an SFTP protocol format, which looks similar to like this, which says SFTP ://hostname :22 // directory path / cost data file name.csv. You can also obtain this URL by installing the free FileZilla FTP client. Follow the FileZilla instructions to log into your server for your FTP hostname, username, and password. The root directory of your FTP server will appear on the right panel. Then navigate to the directory you entered for your path for your FTP exports, and then find the CSV file. I'm going to right click the CSV file, and I'm going to click Copy URL to Clipboard. And the final URL will look something similar to this. And before entering the URL into GA4, make sure you remove the username and @ symbol, so this right here. And then after the hostname, you're going to add a colon and then a 22 after to make sure your secure FTP is using port 22. And then you're going to place a second / after the hostname, so that way it is accessing the directory path. So the final URL will look something similar to this. And you can leave the SFTP key comment empty. Then select the schedule, and you can set it to daily, and then the start time to 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. And it's important to note that your start time must be at least an hour later than the hour selected for your scheduled FTP exports. This will ensure your cost data is finished exporting to your FTP server by the time GA4 is scheduled to retrieve it. Then you're going to click on the blue Next button. Now you can set up the field mapping for your cost data imports. Under Import Fields for each row, click on the pencil icon and enter the column names for each one. Then check the box of each metric that you're going to be using and enter the import name field for each of these metrics. GA4 requires you to select at least one metric. And PowerMyAnalytics provides a list of these mappings for you to use for at least 12 of our connectors. And we're adding more all the time. And you can see a full list of our supported connectors and their fields for GA4 cost data and their imports for more information. And you'll see that in the links below the video. And now I used all the import fields, as you can see here, from the Microsoft Advertising within the links below from PowerMyAnalytics. And then I'm going to click the Create and Generate key. Google Analytics 4 will provide a public key for you to copy and authorize to your FTP server. Save a copy of this key and follow your server's administration instructions to authorize it on your server. And then click Done. And now you can view your data import in the GA4 admin section, and then click Import Now in the row for your data source to begin importing your cost data. Your import will start processing in a few minutes. You can see whether if your cost data was imported successfully. Now that your historical data is imported, you can now go back to your PowerMyAnalytics hub and set up a daily refresh on your cost data. This will keep your GA4 cost data updated every day from your FTP export. First, you want to change the report to the last 7 days instead of the last 90 days. So in your hub, go to Reports and then go to Data Explorer and then find your report in the report table. And then click the pencil icon right next to it. And make sure you're editing the correct cost data report. Sometimes you have to go to Group and you have to go to all to see all your basic reports right here, and make sure you're editing the one that says something similar to this, not the one that says do not use. This should be the same report that you created from the template when setting up your FTP export earlier, and you may need to go under the groups to see all of them. Once you have the right report, you're going to click the pencil icon to edit the report, and then we're going to go to date range, and then we're going to select last 7 days, and then we're going to click set range, and then we're going to click the blue save button. Next, we're going to change the FTP export to refresh every single day. So then we're going to click on FTP, then find your exports in the exports table, and then click on the pencil icon to edit the settings. Then click next to skip all this. Then once you click on schedule, you're going to select daily, and you want to keep the hour on the previous setting to make sure the FTP export will finish running every day before the GA4 retrieves the data. Then click update, and then click confirm. Your new schedule settings will be saved, and your report will be exported to your FTP server every day at 5 a.m. Eastern time. And now your cost data over FTP is ready to use. If you made it this far in the video, congratulations. You are a certified rocket scientist, because there are so many steps in this. I'm glad you made it this far. If you have any questions, just go to support.powermyanalytics.com and we will happily answer any of them. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you next time.